Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Great beer is about drinkability. Doesn't matter the style.
You guys are like walking beer Wikipedia.
That's the first time that you've ever accepted me as a person.
Or you have a fermentation in your gut.
I'm jet propelled at all times.
How many guys do you think that you have the privilege to slap?
Somebody who's never tasted a commercial example, and this is how you know everything about this beer? Please, you don't.
I think that's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit too.
Wow. Are you guys going to arm wrestle?
No.
We're going to teabag fight instead.
Yeah. You heard of Junkyard Wars?
Can I get another high five, Beavis?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's The Session. We are back today to talk about, conveniently enough for me specifically, lagers. I'm very, very, very pumped to talk about more lagers today because, as everybody knows, listening to this show ad nauseum, that's just the greatest kind of beer in the entire universe is lager beer. So I'm joined by the great Shawn O'Sullivan to help me talk about lagers. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. You know, you're right. The last few shows I've done with you, they've been heavily lager focused.
They've been lagered, wonderful. Yeah. I'm really excited. Today we have on the show Halfway Crooks. We have Shawn and Joran from Halfway Crooks in Atlanta, Georgia. Boys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on. You guys were more than generous with your allotment of beverages for myself. I may or may not share them with Shawn O'Sullivan when he comes out to pick them up. We'll see. I might give him my empty cans. I don't really know.
It's a gamble.
It is a gamble.
Well, when I make the drive out to your house from Berkeley out to where you live, which is 3 days away, by car, I either get like an empty can or I'll get full beer.
The drive by car. Yeah. That's how that works, man. Sully, before we get into the show, I want to congratulate you. You have
What's that?
You have a vaccine in your system right now.
Yes.
I didn't think that you were in the
I didn't
think you were in the age category yet, but apparently you are. 65 and older.
Well, it's one of those few times where it's okay to lie about your age. No, I did not lie about my age. I'm in a category out here in California where breweries are considered to be in the agriculture or food service category. So that's how I was able to get it.
Nice.
Because and it was great. It was awesome. Just real quick, it was down there at the Oakland Coliseum, and it was like showing up for a concert. You were just like driving like a little course, almost like you were, in a driving course or something as well. And it's all National Guard there, reservists who are handling security. It was very surreal. And then you kind of get to the front, and they give you a shot, which is actually administered by the U.S. Forest Service. So random. So I got a saw and an axe to go as well.
Hell yeah.
And they ask you a bunch of questions, and you wait for like 15 minutes to make sure that you don't like grow a third leg or something. And they say if there's something happens, just hit your flash or your hazards or honk your horn if it gets really bad. It's like, oh my God. Which I imagine if you hit your horn, your head falls down on your horn there. You're just So yeah, I mean, it was fine. I mean, I had no problems. I mean, but I hear the second one is where they kind of is the wallop. You know,
Yeah,
the one
it
where you
can
get nailed. So
it can, but for me, the first one was worse than the second, and I did the first one was like nothing. So I think you'll be fine. If I could do it,
all right. Well,
do it. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you, Dr. JP.
Did you hear about those two girls in Florida? They were like 20 something. They dressed up as old ladies to stand in line to get the vaccine, and they totally got caught because I guess you have to hand your ID, or I don't know what they do down in Florida, but the police are like, it's on video. They're like chastising them, like, you've stolen vaccines and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, I mean, they did, I guess, yeah.
Are you guys? Are they running vaccinations down there in Atlanta, Georgia, where your brewery is?
Yeah, I think they're doing it out of the Atlanta Falcons Stadium, or the Atlanta United Atlanta Falcons Stadium is Mercedes-Benz. I think they're doing some vaccinations there, and like a lot of CVS's around. I think they're opening a couple more sites. Yeah, nice. This next week or two. But yeah, we have not received the vaccine yet. We're still we have a couple different phases here, and we're still in 1A, which is 65 and older. 65 and older. All right. Yeah. Are you guys doing like beer to go and all that kind of stuff? Yeah, we're we started beer to go, I guess, in March. Actually, I think it was like mid-March of last year. We closed down. Yeah. Okay. Only to go. Yeah. Okay. It's hard to keep track, man, because especially in California, things have changed so many different times. Mm-hmm. But then it's, every state's different. So, that's good that you were able to sort of at least. Yeah, I think we were like wide open around June or so, like just the state in general. Like they opened everything back up, including restaurants. And I think it was May or June. And we kind of pretty cautious at first. And we just kind of kept to go going. And then we have this upstairs like shop that's open air. So we kind of changed everything to touchless ordering around, I guess it was August, September. Yeah, mid-August. Something like that. And, nice. We kind of knew more about the virus then too, and kind of how it's transmitted. So we felt pretty comfortable with that. And we basically like halved our capacity up there and just kind of had touchless ordering, and it's been working for us. And we kind of expanded into our parking lot, which is now sort of a beer garden. Yeah, that's cool, man. You gotta look, man. You gotta. I know everyone hates the word pivot now, but you gotta pivot. You gotta figure out what's. Pivot. You gotta pivot. People really hate that word. They really do. Yeah. We were talking. Or the new normal. That's the other one. The new normal. Exactly. Pivot. Yeah. Those are the two words that wish. How are you doing? How you been? It's like horrible. Yeah, I'm actually quite awful. Thank you very much. How are you? Yeah, that's it's terrible stuff. So I want to get into a lot of stuff with you guys, but specifically right now, I got to talk to you about your website. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. It's very like 8-bit. And it seems like that's sort of like the gimmick. If you want to just give me a little background about the name of. Have you actually? You should scroll all the way down on the first page, and there's this like little icon. I see it now. I click on it. That's kind of an Easter egg, I guess. So it's like a website that'll talk to you. It's like a. It says, "Hi, I'm Justin. I'm a front-end developer with a specialization in WordPress." So I was a computer engineer for a while. So we kind of wanted to do some fun stuff with the website, kind of play homage to some like old 80s programming interfaces. So we have like a command line interface on there. Actually, it's like as an Easter egg, and you can actually access all the stuff on our website by like going through directories and things. It's kind of fun. That is cool. I'm not going to pretend to understand any of it, but I really like it. It's very reminiscent of like Oregon Trail or something like that. Where you go to the about page, and it's just this like poetry about thinking about your place in the world or whatever, and then that's it. And I'm going, okay. I'm trying to get background. I'm trying to really do my job, and then these guys are just blocking me every way. So I was also in security, so we don't really like a lot of information about us out there. It's just a crazy world now. People just take your data and do whatever they want to with it. That's true. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But even just like the language and how you guys are using language on the website. And I don't know why sometimes these things strike me as funny where it says 10 minutes from the airport and all major attractions. I don't know why that I laughed out loud. I thought that was very, very funny. That was actually pretty funny. Like that was like our architect and us came up with that. Like we, I don't know, we just like we're 10 minutes from the airport. It's just like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, well, look, I don't want you to lie about it, but talk to me a little bit about the name Halfway Crooks. What's that about?
Yeah, so Joran grew up on a sheep farm in Belgium, and we kind of wanted to play homage to like that part of Joran's life. You know, it's very, very who he is. You know, he's a farm boy,
sheep farmer. Okay.
So, you know, we kind of like, and, you know, we love 90s hip hop. So we figured, you know, like Halfway Crooks is great. We have like the crook is the shepherd's crook. And, you know, we want to kind of play homage to Mobb Deep. We were also in the city. So we kind of wanted to like have that dichotomy of like, you know, like city and agriculture and farm. We're both from those two different backgrounds. So we kind of wanted to do something with that. It only took like 3 years to come up with a name, so
these things happen. I mean, but that whole idea and that thread really goes through every aspect of your space. I mean, it's like not only the brewery and the pub, but you know, like what Jason said, the look and feel of the website, your beers, your design, your glassware. I mean, I love branding. I mean, I'm all, you know, probably, you know, gotten more into that since I've been a brewer, really, but and owning the 21A. But I mean, I just think it's phenomenal. I mean, I think when I first met you guys, I was just struck by. I got it. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It makes sense. It fires on every single level and cylinder that you have going on there. Everything that your brand touches within your space is just about this theme, this like low tech 8-bit theme kind of thing. It's great.
Yeah, I like it, especially these days with you know, the sort of focus on brand design and you know how your package looks and your Instagram and how many filters you have and like all this like really carefully crafted thing. Not that your image isn't carefully crafted, but it's sort of that low tech thing that I think really makes you stand out even more rather than like soft pastel, you know, whatever, right? I like it.
Yeah, like lager. I mean, you just repeat that over and over again, and you just want to drink a lager. And so,
yeah. Now let us it needs to be ingrained in your head, you know, that you drink lager. That's like you know, hopefully that's how a lager comes back, right? It's just
just say it, pound it into the ground.
Yeah, just
in their heads.
Remind people that this beer is out here.
Yeah,
not everything.
You know, there's other beers.
You don't have to stand in line all the time for good beer. You can oddly just go get it, and everything's fine. How long has Halfway Crooks been open?
We opened in July of 18. No, 19. 19. Yes.
Time is irrelevant these days.
It is.
Closed in March of last year.
Okay.
And then reopened mid-August. But during that time we always did to go. But yeah, we're downstairs, which is like where we put a lot of thought into the bar and the seating area and whatsoever, has been closed since March of last year.
Damn.
So.
And now it's a tech startup.
Yeah.
We're mining precious metals from hard drives, trying to make it.
We took all the Raspberry Pis and we're now mining Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Nice, dude.
And Dogecoin. It's pretty great.
Hell yeah. I love to see it.
But where are you located? You're in like a special area of Atlanta, and there's a lot happening on that street. I mean, there's a barbecue place down the street, and there's some other cool stuff going on there. I mean, it's kind of like this. This is like the word pivot when you describe things. It's an up and coming area.
Ah, yes. I love those. Those are my favorite areas.
So it's in a neighborhood called Summer Hill. This is where the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium used to be, where, you know, Hank Aaron broke the record. Nice. And then someone else cheated and broke the record after Hank Aaron.
Hey, whoa, settle down, settle down.
But yeah, so
I may agree with you.
we're really close to there, and like the '96 Olympics happened in this neighborhood. So then they built another stadium, Turner Field, and that's where the Olympics occurred. I think a lot of the track and field stuff happened there. And after that, the neighborhood was kind of abandoned, or there were landlords here, but they weren't really doing anything with the properties. They were just kind of letting them kind of sit. And I guess around the time the Braves moved out of the city, which was traumatizing for a lot of us. I guess a lot of these buildings went on for auction, and developer bought them. And Joran and I were looking to start a brewery, I guess like in 2017 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we were riding our bike. We like to ride our bikes a lot, so we were riding our bikes around, and we saw these really old buildings. And everything that we wanted to do was we wanted this place to feel like old, like lived in, like organic. And we saw these buildings, and the next day, kind of serendipitously. I don't know if I said that word right, but
you did. It's fine. Keep going.
Cool. Someone contacted us and was like, "Hey, we own these buildings in Silver Hill. Would you guys be interested in having a chat?" And it was kind of like, "Wow, that's kind of crazy."
Did they just,
it was like literally the day after
flag you down, or like how did they contact you?
They
it was through like a mutual friend. They were looking for somebody that was wanting to start a brewery.
Okay. So the news was out there amongst your friends that you were looking to do this.
It wasn't really out there. It was just like, hey, do you know somebody that is thinking about a brewery?
Okay. All right.
And I think I said, yeah, I probably know somebody.
Okay.
Well, Joran, you have like you have a past though in Atlanta, and you're just not like. I mean, well, I'm actually curious how you guys met, because I mean, my business partner and I met, and then there's a story there that I've told exhaustively through the years. But I'm interested in how you guys met, and also Joran, you have a past there in Atlanta. You have a brewing. You worked at another brewery, and I met you.
We so Shawn has a history in Atlanta in homebrewing, and I got here in 2013. To help start Three Taverns Brewery in Decatur.
Mm-hmm.
And Shawn and I actually met, from what I remember, we met the first time in the basement of the brick store. So there was a going away party for one of the beer buyers, or the person that's in charge of the beer program there. And they were throwing this big party in the basement where they store all their sell beers, and I was like, I didn't know anybody, and Shawn was kind enough to start talking to me. And,
I imagine we're like Shawn's just hanging out with his friends, and he looks over, and there's Joran just standing alone, maybe even a spotlight on him, just all by himself. Because I'm going to go reach out to this guy.
Yeah, it's like the lights dimmed and music started playing, and I walked over, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
you fell in love.
That's good, man. I love it. Well, Joran, how does somebody growing up on a sheep farm in Belgium make their way to owning a brewery in Atlanta? I feel like that's even just sort of weirder.
Yeah, how does that happen?
I'm sure it was all meticulously planned.
Yeah. I studied biochemistry, and then the brewing school in Ghent, and part of my brewing school was I did an internship in New Belgium.
Okay.
So that was in 2008. I was there for about 4 months, and it happened to be so like at the time. I wanted to go abroad and like do my internship somewhere else than Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
And the professor at the time was saying, "Oh, we have an old student who's working at a brewery in Fort Collins," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy." So Peter's my uncle. So
Peter Buchart.
Yes.
Peter Brewer.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the paper I wrote was actually with I worked on their bright beer filtration. So like the improvement of the bright beer filtration. And yeah, I mean, I was there for 4 months. I was blown away by the beer industry, how it was all happening here. And after my internship, I went back to Belgium. I started working in some breweries in Belgium. I started my own brewery with two of my friends called Verzet, which we did like on the weekends. I mean, I don't know. It kept itching to come back, and all of a sudden, I got an opportunity come and work for a brewery in Georgia.
When
They
you're
invited me over, and yeah,
that's nice, man. When you're opening a brewery in Belgium, did you ever feel sort of pigeonholed as far as like styles you had to make? Like, do you feel brewing in America or brewing outside of Europe, maybe even, you can be a little more experimental?
Yeah, for sure. So that's why we started the small brewery, to do more experimental stuff. Because, actually my two friends I started it with, we all graduated the same year in brewing school. So we were all working in bigger breweries, basically doing the same stuff or same beers over and over, which is, looking back, is also beautiful in itself. But I do like what's going on here and the experimental stuff, and constantly pushing yourself.
Yeah.
But isn't it a little bit like I look at because I went to Belgium like a lot, like in the early 2000s, and it was like, and that's when a lot of American brewers were going over there, and we were all just like, we thought you guys were the shit. I mean, we just like amazing. And so when you were coming over here and you're seeing what's going on in the United States. I mean, so there's like, I think a little bit of like the grass is always greener, I was like, I'd go over there and I'd be like, oh my God, look what they're doing here. It's just, we don't do anything like this. And you're like, whatever, I want to go over there and learn how to use hops and and have some fun. So there's probably like we're romanticizing the other's experience.
Yeah. I mean, they both have like beautiful sides. I think, I really enjoyed working in Belgium. Like I had a lot of pride for the breweries I worked at, for sure. And then here, the pace, the people are, how do you say? People are more it's like shinier if you're, beer. Like,
okay. Yep.
In Belgium, it's just a normal thing.
Yeah, it's like water. You're making beer, you're drinking wine. Is
it like, I don't want to say it sounds like, in Belgium or Europe, it's taken for granted, because it's not like, I don't think it's that important really, but it is sort of like part of the culture, part of just everyday life. And over here, it is shiny. It is, and we're like raccoons trying to get like the tin can on the string or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it is. And I think with Halfway Crooks now, we like Shawn has come to Belgium quite a bit of time to, he stayed with my family a couple times, and we've like implemented some of those things that I sort of took for granted, or that were like tradition, or like just that I see as normal, but that are actually very unique things to like with beer culture, and we've started doing some of those things here, and they're actually pretty fun.
Can you give me an example?
We have like a Belgian Pilsner, we call it, and it's called Pincha, and it's basically and like the bar that Joran and all of his friends and family go to, pretty much. The way they order a beer is like they put their pinky up, because pinky and pint are around the same word, and they just say like, I want 5, but they don't have to say anything. It's just, that's what they do, and they just bring the beers to the table. So we kind of wanted to replicate that here a little bit before COVID happened. And that's kind of just a little bit of what we brought back, along with the entire design of the bar here.
That's cool, man. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'll put my pinky up and do the thing. Like,
yeah,
that's perfect for you, JP.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know,
socially awkward. Like going like to the elements.
I'm continental. You can't tell me I'm awkward now. They just said that's what they do. I'm ahead of my time.
Noted. Like going back to your comment about bringing like elements of Belgian culture. Even brewing culture. I mean, talk a little bit about your system. I mean, you have some unique, I believe you have like horizontal tanks. Is that right?
Yeah.
Log grain tanks. You don't really see that element in small brewery setting. So what's going on there?
We have like 4 horizontal, like they're around 10 barrel
Probably show.
Yeah, we can show you.
Yeah, they're right behind the bar right there.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Oh damn, look at that.
Yeah, it took us 4 days to get those in there. There was a lot of, it was pretty crazy. Yeah, we have four lagering tanks here. We have four lagering tanks. We have 2 Brights in the brewery, and we do all of our lagering in these 4 tanks.
Wow.
Yeah, we really wanted people to really kind of like see that we make lagers here, and that, you know, when they come in, they're like, what are those? It kind of helps open that conversation and kind of
what are those?
Try to talk to people about lager. You know,
I like that. That's a good idea. It's like it's not a MacGuffin device. I forget what it. I forget. I'm big on analogies. I'm trying to think of one where you going, oh, what's that thing? Well, allow me to demonstrate the fact that we make lagers here, and what's a lager?
Yeah.
Well, here, taste these. It's more of that open door kind of thing. That's cool, and it works.
Yeah.
I imagine.
And
right?
it does. It really showcase. I mean, it really shows in the beer too. I mean, it's just not a great story, but I mean, you know, the reason for those lagering vessels is to increase the surface area so the yeast has something to fall onto, and help with clarity and all that. So I think that's just wonderful that you're doing that. I mean, not a lot of people are doing that, and you know, lagers in certain breweries they're not as great as they could be.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Let me do this. Let me take a break real fast, everybody. We're going to come back. I already opened a beer, which I'm sort of really very much enjoying because I really needed a beer. So we're going to break into the beers a little bit early, but we're going to come right back, everybody. It's the session. Hang on. We're talking lagers.
You're tuned into the session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Thanks for sticking around, everybody. We are talking with the boys from Halfway Crooks Beer in Atlanta, Georgia. Shawn and Joran, thanks again, guys, for coming on the show. I cracked the beer a little bit early because I desperately needed one for my mental health, which is, everybody knows,
Rough week.
Very poorly. This beer is called Active Low, and it's an unfiltered German-style Pilsner at 4.9%. Can you guys tell me a little bit about this beer and then, what I'm tasting in this?
Yeah, this is Joran's favorite beer, so I'll let him take it away.
So Active Low, I think it's my favorite because it's like I think it's like super balanced and refined for a lager. We use hops from like Sites Farms. So we're waiting for second harvest, but this is the second time we import all of our German hops. We have some saws as well from Czech coming in.
Okay.
How many types do we have? We have like 5 or 6.
Yeah, we've actually expanded it quite a bit. We're getting pretty much all the hops that they grow on their farm.
Damn.
Shipped directly to us, which is great.
And you guys have only been open a couple years?
Fan. Sorry?
You guys have only been open a couple of years, and you're already like buying out farms with their hops. I feel like that's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like it's sort of like a badge of honor, man.
Yeah, this beer is great. I mean, it's like 100% German Pilsner. We use different yeast on this one than we do the rest of our lagers. It like helps with the malt expression a lot more. And then we use Saphir in this beer, and a couple other hops that we love. I love this beer. It's so good. We brewed it in like September of last year for the first time, and we were super happy with the way it came out. And, we're constantly tweaking little things with it, but I think it's something we love to drink. And a lot of our beers aren't available all the time. We kind of cycle through a bunch of different like pale lagers, and it's cool because you'll be like, man, I haven't had Active Low in a while, and it'll come out like every 2 or 3 months, so it's like it's really fun. It's like a treat.
This is a beer that I would want a cologne of. The aroma is so it's like high melon, but just that perfume from the malt, and I imagine there's a lot of that the ester from the yeast, and it just smells it smells incredible.
There's like a little bit of sulfur in there, which I really like. Like it's not like nothing bad. It's
no,
like
but it like matches with
part of the style,
with the aroma hops in there. It doesn't really poke out. You know, sometimes you can get those sulfur things where it's just like, oh, that's sulfur, but it almost is like factored in as a component of the beer, which I guess it should be.
Yeah, we kreuzen this beer with our other another Pilsner or like that has the other yeast that has just a little more sulfur, so it really gives it this like really nice complexity.
That's such a good beer.
Are most of your beers naturally carbonated like that?
Yes, yeah. We work pretty hard to try to get those schedules to align to where we can kreuzen the beers.
And do you said you mix up the beers that come online? They'll go away for a little bit, then they'll come back. Do you have main beers that are always on, or is it always something different?
No, always have. Once the beer's gone, we'll just do it in 2 more months or whatsoever. But we never have the same beer on. But we do have like lagers that we will make more often, and then others that we will make only once a year.
Okay.
Yeah, like our smoked Helles, like we only make that once a year, and it's really special.
Do I have any of that? Because that's my jam right there.
That sounds great, actually.
We're all out.
Oh, bastard.
Yeah, I don't know if we send you some, but
no.
Yeah, JP, we just ran out yesterday.
I love that, man. That's smoked beers are great. Smoked Helles, get out.
Especially when they're done right, where it's just like a kiss of smoke, where it's not like. It's not like, in America, we turn everything up to 11 sometimes. And so you'll sometimes get a smoked Helles. It'll be like, yes, I'd like a little beer with my cigarette, please.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's a kiss of smoke. There's no tongue.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Well put.
Yeah, thanks.
It's like one of our favorites. We, I think we put the recipe in Craft Beer and Brewing, I think last month or something, right?
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay.
Because we want people to make way more smoked beer.
Me too.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Me too. What's active low mean? What the hell does this mean? What am I saying?
So it's kind of like a play on some like computer engineering term, but it's also like yeast are active at low temperatures. So like there's two different I think of it like in engineering, like when there's like a reset for like some component in a computer, it's either active low or active high. And so we have active low, this Pilsner, and then we also have the Helles version, which is called reset. So it's kind of, I don't know, we do fun stuff like that.
So you guys are just nerds with a brewery. Yeah.
Shawn, you said you were in security. I'm assuming that's like computer security before.
Yeah, I was a computer hardware research engineer. So I just did we did a lot of and also in the cybersecurity field.
Damn.
And so I worked at Georgia Tech for a while before Joran and I started.
It sounds like you can't really talk about it.
I can't. No.
Is that when you started homebrewing? Is when you were doing something creative to do?
Actually, I started homebrewing early in college. Okay. Yeah, I was going to Georgia Tech at the time, and it was just it's pretty rigorous. So just kind of wanted an outlet, and really enjoyed beer. And there was a shop that had opened by where my girlfriend lived at the time, and they had like home brewing supplies, and I bought The Complete Joy of Homebrewing, read that,
there you go,
How to Brew by John.
You did.
Yeah.
Just kind of like started reading all these books, and I actually used to listen to Brew Strong quite a bit.
Oh, nice.
Just kept at it, and joined a homebrew club here, and just met a really great group of people, and drank cool, beer, man. And brewed beer, and talked about beer all the time. Yeah.
It's funny because there's so many examples of homebrewers that are like brewing at top levels, being engineers or some sort of that like analytical, like data focused, detail focused thing, and it's I don't know, I bring that up every now and then because it is really important to focus on that stuff. But it's funny how many of those people like Jamil
really by having like a small brewery and like not needing to like pump out beer into like distro, I think we really pride ourselves in like trying to do the right and being as precise as possible with everything, documenting everything and trying to like redo it every time, keep that consistency.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a lot of fun.
This beer is, God, it's great. Have you had this before, Sully?
Yes, I have. I actually, they were actually kind enough to send me a whole box of beer a while back, where I got my koozie and my hat, and my son wears that one shirt you sent all the time, the No Bad Memories shirt. So
awesome.
one.
Yeah,
he loves it.
The floppy disk shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, so I've been to Atlanta a fair amount of times, and so it's such a unique beer scene there. I mean, it's really come into its own over the years. I mean, you have, I think I came into it through the Brick Store in Decatur, just outside of Atlanta. I met those guys over there, Dave and his crew, and then, of course, Joran, when you were over at Three Taverns. And then, then Mitch Steele, kind of like the 900-pound, gorilla, drops into the area there with New Realm, and basically he's just like, and he's a very sweet man. I'm not saying
all time.
He's such a great guy. I mean, but
we clean our kegs there. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay,
you clean your kegs there. That's cool, man.
That's good. So he is a good guy. No, but I mean, yeah. So what's the scene there? Because I mean, you have the whole area there. I mean, out in Atlanta, in Athens, you've got Creature Comforts. You've got so much going on there. It's almost its own little Portland in a lot of ways, or Asheville in kind of a reach there. But what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for a while, the laws here were pretty restrictive. That's the reason Joran and I opened this place, was the laws kind of changed a couple of years ago. But before, it was pretty hard. Like, you had to open you have to buy a 20-barrel system and open a distribution brewery to even make it work. And since those laws have been changed, we've seen a lot more breweries kind of like ourselves pop up, where a little smaller, doing really fun stuff. Like Creature was one of the breweries that opened during that time where the laws were restricted, but I think they're one of the outliers as far as how they came about, because they're able to kind of still make these beautiful small beers without I don't know, what you kind of see a lot of distribution breweries do, with just core flagship brands that's all they make. But now we're seeing a lot more smaller guys that are doing really, really cool, fun stuff, really scrappy.
We can sell you 4-packs out of the door now.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't allowed to sell you anything, so
God, that's wild.
That's how far we've gotten so far.
I mean, that's
good.
great. Is the community tight now? I mean, you've got, you're all friendly with each other and all this. I mean, you got Bob Townsend writing about beer. He's an awesome dude. I don't know. I said awesome dude, but
I love that man a lot. Damn it, I love him.
I was trying to channel some sort of Athens or Southern gentleman there. No, it just seems like I pick up on a vibe when I'm there, and maybe it's just because I'm being shown it, but it really seems like something's going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a great community. Everybody's very close. They're kind of all went through this really tough getting these laws passed kind of times together. It's been very I don't know. It's just a great community. It's kind of a young scene, so everybody's really excited to learn and kind of talk to each other and share ideas, and it's really cool.
That's nice, man. I like to hear it. What's the next beer I should open? I got a Belgian Pale, I got a German style Pils, and then I got a German style Dunkel.
Dunkel.
Which one was the second one?
The German style Pils.
Yeah, let's do that one next, I guess. We'll go German Pils, and get.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I think that one's Radius.
Let's get JP drunk.
Radius? See, I was reading it as Seradii. I didn't really know what to say. So, which is, me not understanding the English language. Anyway, tell me about Radius, please.
Yeah, so Radius is we have a couple of beers that have the word like rad in them, and it's just really poor planning on our part, but we think they're pretty rad. Like we have like a beer called Radix, we have a beer called Radian, and we have a beer called Radius, and each one of these beers kind of features a hop that was developed by the Hop Research Institute in Huel, in like Walsnack, kind of where our hop farm is located, and some Bavaria. And this beer is kind of showcases Mandarina Bavaria hops. The other two is Hallertauer Blanc, and then the other two beers, and Huel Melon. But this one's Mandarina Bavaria. So,
Huel Melon is such a good hop.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, we did that. We did that in not a dry hop. I think it was a flavor edition in a Vienna lager we did at the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp a couple years ago. So awesome.
Yeah,
such a good hop.
So this one's brewed with a different or other yeast, and it has a little more of a sulfur component.
Yeah.
It kind of helps like showcase the hops a little better. We wanted these beers to be pretty hop forward, and as far as the aroma goes, with like really nice like balance as far as like bitterness and malt. So this beer we're drinking a whole lot of this right now. It's the first time we brewed it actually.
And so are all of your lagers sort of, and please tell me I'm stupid, just in general, but
ahead.
for this, I don't talk to my dad, so I don't hear that enough. These hops are like that kind of like light melon and those sort of, I don't want to say tropical because I think that gets overused, but definitely these sort of like brighter sort of fruit components. So they're the new school hops. Is that on purpose? You're not going for like the traditional Hallertauer or
we definitely do those beers as well. These are just kind of fun. Like we're in the process right now of just like going like we do like we have a beer called Ada that's uses Hallertauer Mittelfrühe and Herzbrucker and Select.
Okay, so you're not all just new school.
Yeah, those are like we have beers that we really love the old school hops. Like
nice.
You get kind of like really fun. Like I like to use like fennel, like savory qualities. But when you say that, people are like, I don't know about fennel, but it's really like subtle.
That's what I just did.
It's not like just fennel in your face. It's just you get like kind of like lime zest and fun and like really like good spicy pepper and things like that.
How do you make the differentiation between going like a new school hop versus the old school in a recipe? Is it just what you're feeling? Is it something else? Are you building a recipe around these hops, or you just sort of winging it?
Yeah, we typically build the recipe around the hops. Yeah, because the hops that we're getting are we just think they're such high quality. We just want to really do right by them, I guess.
So for stuff like this, for like the Pilsners, are you putting these hops into lagers because it's basically just like base malt, and so you really want those to shine? You don't want to cover them up with like darker beers, or how does that work?
We put them like so that Dunkel you have there uses the same hops. Like I think that one's kind of like Relay heavy, so it's like a little more. That one's a little more savory. I don't know if that answered the question.
I don't even know if the question was asked properly.
The hops you're using are not that far off the reservation. Can I use that phrase?
I don't think so.
In terms of, I don't think I can actually. Oh, damn it!
Canceled. Everyone come for Sully.
No, I'm sorry. That was not appropriate.
It's fine.
They're not that far off from what your like standard old school hops are. It's not like you're adding like Citra or something like that that's going to just overwhelm. I mean, they're soft enough, they're unique enough that they're going to accentuate and sort of bring notice to them, but they're not going to overwhelm you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the point of the question was to figure out how you manage your hops and how you allocate them to different beers. But without just assuming it's like, well, whatever, we'll just do this. Let's just try something new. I guess in my mind, I want to know that there's a pattern or there's some sort of thing, but maybe there's not, and so maybe the question comes off weird.
No, we we have a really great variety of hops, and we are constantly thinking about different ways to use them and express them, and try to. I mean, we're still learning too, right? So we're trying to like figure out. It's kind of like trying to find a diamond somewhere. You know, like we're just like searching and searching.
Yeah.
And we're still like playing around with hops and quantities within the brand itself too.
Mm-hmm.
So like we'll change it up every time.
Okay. Trying to
like
figure
if we
that
see
out.
something works well, or we try to test out an idea. We're constantly tweaking these beers all the time. Like like Joran said, like within the brand.
Are you using pellets or whole flowers or
Pellets,
combination or okay?
And actually, like right now we're on our hops in like survival mode because we're waiting for hops to come in from Germany, and it's been taken a lot longer than expected. We were hoping to get them in January, so we have an empty freezer.
Yeah, we got some other hops actually from Belgium too, and we sought out some good saws this year. So the saws harvest was a little later than the harvest in Germany, and we wanted to put them all on the same kind of shipment, so we're to kind of like consolidate. So it's been kind of crazy with COVID too. Like shipping's pretty insane. Like ports are pretty packed, and it's taking a little longer this year. Last year, I think we got our hops in December, and we kind of got greedy and we wanted to get really good saws, so we're waiting a little longer. And so it's been fun. We had some hops that we've been playing a lot around with, like kind of what we have in inventory right now and finding out like.
That's great. You're figuring it out.
Yeah, cool.
You're pivoting, guys.
Oh my God!
Have you ever heard that before? Have you ever?
How you doing? I
got a question from the chat. Steven says, "Do you guys spund your lagers? If so, what's your process?"
Not really. We just like at the end of fermentation or towards the end, we'll just close it off, and it will build up like 5 psi, 7.5 psi.
We'll spund it sometimes to control that build. Yeah, we don't want it to go from like 5 to 10 overnight or 0 to 10 overnight because you can get some.
And then when we krause, and we'll spun it as well to like if we for some reason would have made a mistake that we don't have a 25 psi on our beer, so it keeps it at 15.
Okay. Answer your question, Steve.
What do your tanks hold? What's the pressure those tanks hold?
They hold 15. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
What size barrel system do you guys have?
We have like a 12 hectoliter, so like 10 barrel system.
Okay.
So has Peter Buchart ever been out to your place, and does he come in and give you like tips, or does he haze you and what are you doing here? Or...
Yeah, he actually.
Where are the barrels?
he drove down during the pandemic all the way from Colorado.
Oh wow!
So that's the first time he saw it. But it's fun.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
That's cool, man.
I think he liked the beer, so
I think he liked them in probably a very Belgian way. Like, oh, this just
just flash the pinky. Okay, so I have 2 beers left, and then you guys were again super gracious to give me 3 bottles of beer.
Oh wow! Yeah.
So I brought the in my little desktop refrigerator. I brought the quad.
Awesome.
Oh wow!
Now because I feel like there's not a whole lot of people making quads. You got it in this really nice bottle. I feel like this is going to be good, so I wanted to talk about this. But I also have I forget the other 2. I can look. So if you don't want to do the quad, after the next break, I can definitely run and get the other beers. But transitioning into this break, what should I have next? We have Death.
It's actually barley wine is death. I choose life.
Yeah.
Sorry, barley wine's life. I choose death. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
You got a quad and a barley wine. It's dealer's choice.
Yeah.
And then it's the Belgian Pale Ale or the Dunkel. So which of those should we have now? Belgian Pale? I don't know.
That's the freshest one.
Yeah. Either one.
Either one. Okay, well, let's just do the Belgian Pale. Fuck it. Why not? So this is called Sanguine?
It's called Sanguine.
Jesus Christ.
Sanguine.
I'm stupid as hell, dude. I'm like,
okay.
It's funny because like I think I'm relatively sharp, depends. But if you separate a word into like stack it on top of each other, because the label is SAN, and then the rest of the word is underneath. It's like I don't know, showing a dog a colored picture. I can't figure it out.
At least you didn't make a reservation comment, so.
Yeah, I'm sure you did fine. I just meant it as like you have a reservation for the pub. Yeah.
I have a reservation. I'm off the reservation at the pub.
So this is a beer we've been kind of chasing for a while.
Okay. To be honest, I have too. There was a long time when I was trying to do a Belgian Pale, a Westie 6, the green cap Westie.
Yeah.
That's my favorite beer of all time. I was lucky enough to get it like 2 weeks fresh. Because Justin brought it back from Belgium, and it was like just bottled the day before or whatever. That's what he said anyway. And I still have dreams about that beer. That beer,
he lied.
Yeah, I found it from a gutter rat. I don't know. They stole. Anyway, tell me about this Belgian Pale, please.
So this is actually a lot more amber in color, like more like red, because it's the first time we used Georgia red wheat. And then it's mainly Dingemans pills and some spelt, right?
Yeah.
Spelt. So usually it's a lot more golden. And then, we're not. I like it the way it is, but we wanted less yeast character and more hop forward. So it's been like upping the hops, and then we're getting some Belgian hops in this year as well. So I think this will bring the beer, I think, to where we want it to be.
If a beer could make me weep openly, it would be this beer. This beer is very, very good.
Oh, thank you.
It is very, very good. It has that Belgian yeast characteristic that you're sort of looking for. It is very reminiscent of like that Westie sort of really bright, grain flavor. The hops are all just, it works really, really well. It's like a slightly tart thing going on, and it's very, very good. This is very, very good beer.
Well, let's just take a pause here and just watch you cry.
I might actually.
No, just let it happen. Hold it. Hold the moment. This is the first on the BN.
It's gone now. It's definitely not the first. What's your fermentation temperature on this?
We actually play around with that one quite a bit, but we do this one a little
pin down.
Yeah, this one's probably like 14, 15 C. Primary.
It's like 100 F, right?
A little higher.
Yeah. Like it's probably like 15 C at most, right? For this one.
What yeast do you use?
15 Celsius, yeah. And then we halfway through, I think we'll bring it up. And then this one was like lagered for 3 weeks, I think, at around 10 Celsius.
Yeah.
So pretty warm, actually.
So you started. So 15C is 59. I'm really smart, so I didn't look it up. But it's 59 degrees Fahrenheit.
I didn't look it up either. But go ahead.
To me, that's like super low for a Belgian Pale. Like I when I was trying to do mine, I was doing it like 74 because I always thought that you have to drive that temperature to get the yeast characteristic. But apparently you don't.
Yeah, I think we basically start off at like. Yeah, it's like around 59 degrees. Then we let it kind of ramp up to around 65. And and we found that we really need to lager these beers for a little while. So yeah, we do like 3 to 4 weeks at like around 50 degrees as far as that goes. And it really helps like mellow out a lot of the yeast character that we want it to be there, but we want it to be balanced, with the hops because it's like a pale ale. We want it to.
We don't want it just be yeast character.
like flabby.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like one note. So we
Yeah.
we
So you're suppressing the ester formation by using a lower fermentation temperature and letting it come up, and then it finishes out, and then it sounds like you're just showcasing the malt and the hops in a lot of ways with just like a kiss of the yeast character.
Yeah, but that yeast character is so intense. That's why I'm sort of surprised that it's under sub 65 for fermentation temperature.
Can you share what yeast you're using, or
cloudy? It's cloudy. It's like a hazy Belgian pale ale. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because that's the first.
It's
the first hazy beer that I've actually very, very much enjoyed. And I'm going to say that right now.
It's probably because you stored it on that side, by the way.
Yeah.
You don't know anything, Shawn.
I still want to know what yeast they're using. Nobody will answer that question.
Won't say.
It won't say. That's fine. That's okay. Never mind.
He won't even say.
And the show's over.
They won't even say no. They're just shaking their head, their collective head, in the uniform. It's just weird. Wow.
Changed the yeast. We've changed the yeast a couple times on this.
So we're still figuring out how the yeast behaves in a lot of ways.
Well, I think Sully can help you with that if you give him what it is. He knows all about that.
No, I should have read the room. That was my mistake. When the interviewee will not answer the question, don't ask 3 times, Sully. Noted.
Yeah. What hops are in here?
This one, these are it's middle fruit.
That one came out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to get we're trying to actually get some Belgian grown middle fruit and
Fuggle,
some Fuggle and some we're trying to get some I think we use tradition in this one as well. But I think we're going to switch over to pretty much all middle fruit.
What a great beer. That's great. I hate it when I say that too. This is the problem about talking for a quote unquote living, where it's like if things aren't really great or whatever, I have 100,000 words to say. But if it's just really solid beer, I just get stuck on like this is really good, and for 5 minutes, and then I cry. I weep openly. Let me take a quick.
Hold on to some of those beers because I'm going to pick them up tomorrow.
No. Yes, I will. I have. I will definitely give you. I'll put these back in the fridge. These are half open. I'll put them back in the fridge for you.
We'll open up a quad and a barley wine together, and then I'll drive back from Montana, wherever you live.
Please do. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to drink 2 more beers, and then we're going to let these boys go. So hang on. It's The Session with Halfway Crooks from Atlanta, Georgia. We'll be right back.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's The Session.
Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging on. We're back with Halfway Crooks. And while I open the death, and I know that's not the real name, but that's all I see because I have anxiety, in case you didn't know. So I'm like, I show this to my wife. I'm like, yep, there we go. This is what's going to do. Chris says, ask these boys about head retention because theirs is on point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we love foam. Our staff, we have them make sure they build the foam kind of every glass. We feel like it's a very important part of the experience here. And we a lot of head retention's pretty complicated, sort of. There's a great book by Bamforth about. It's just called Foam.
Charlie,
I would totally read. I would totally read that if you're really into head retention.
Yeah.
But yeah, we make sure to like really. You really want to do like a really nice bittering addition, I believe, to kind of help those isoalpha acids kind of. It's a huge part of foam stability is isoalpha acids and protein, and anything you can to like do to make sure you're not doing anything protein negative to your beer is gonna help with head retention. So I kind of think of it as like a sum game. Like you just really want to make sure you're on the positive side of all the things. So like a really long boil is foam negative. Hops are great. They're foam positive until you like really dry hop the shit out of a beer and then it's foam negative. It's like oil is foam negative.
Also, krausening will help as well, especially with the type of bubbles you get. Yeah.
And we also don't use any filtrates or anything.
So. We use no filtration.
Okay.
So everything is unfiltered, essentially, except that's great.
I love it. All right. Well, I just cracked the if barley wine is life, I choose death, which I would rename to if hazy IPA is life, I choose death. I feel like it pissed more people off, but that's just me.
Well, you've said it before, though.
We brew this. We brew this with like Matt Storm at the Masonry every year, which is 2 years now. We've been open.
What's the Masonry?
It's a great pizza place up in Seattle, and he actually just started a brewery.
Fast fashion.
I think it's with Brian. I think it's Brian
Strumpy.
Yeah, and so we really like Dunkel, and we just thought it would be fun to name a beer this, and it's kind of based off of those really old LucasArts adventure games.
Yeah, for sure. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
it's great.
I love it, man. That's
who designs the labels?
So pretty much that does most of our kind of branding design. It's like a collaboration between us and the Office of Brothers here in Atlanta. They're amazing, like Alvin and Ashlyn and the whole crew over there has been and Elizabeth, and they're just amazing. Joran and I went in there with he's from a sheep farm and I was a computer engineer and we want to do all these crazy things, and they just when they first sent us our what they were thinking, it just kind of blew us away, and it really resonated with us so much that they just captured everything that we wanted to do.
What was the name again? Give them a proper shout out.
Office of Brothers.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Office of Brothers.
Office of Brothers. Okay.
Or it's Family Brothers, bros.biz, bros.biz.gz, bros.family.
Bros.brothers. Got it.
Yeah, if you go to bros.family, that's their website.
Okay.
I think you said Cohen Brothers. That's all I heard.
Yeah, for sure. So who writes the descriptions of these? So on every, for those who don't know, on every label, there's a little section that says control data. And there's a little description of the beer, and it has nothing to do with really the beer whatsoever. It's very reminiscent of the Rare Barrel, or Lagunitas, where it's so for on the Sanguine, it's we have found a way to raise a great deal of positive energy. Time with friends. Don't look at the time. Look at the birds. Look at your potential. Who writes this crap?
We met Steph.
I love it. I think it's great.
Control Data was actually a computer corporation. And that they had these programmatic cards, and that's kind of where we that's why you see the ASCII art on the cans. It kind of resembles these programmatic cards that
or these little stickers.
Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much. We actually the copy is made by artificial intelligence.
Is it really?
It's
it reads like it's translated.
The idea is if artificial intelligence was trying to make sense of beer.
God, I fucking love it. I love it.
What is beer?
I would.
That's kind of that's what we're all in search of. What is beer, right? So it's the computer had to ask itself that question.
Bro, I love
it's
this.
HAL 9000.
I can't explain to you how much I think that's such a good and very funny idea. I think it's great because it definitely reads like translation, where it's like a Japanese translation or some sort of this is not written in English, and then here it is look at your potential. Who says that? Nobody says that. I love it. I think that's fucking hilarious. So tell me about this Dunkel. Can you give me a little like recipe formulation?
There's
to brew it.
There's a little bit of Cara aroma in this beer. We it's really we really wanted this really dry Dunkel. So it was kind of Matt was involved pretty heavily in this recipe design, and we wanted notes of sarsaparilla and just these. We just really wanted this really drinkable Dunkel, and we just kind of came up with it, and we just keep brewing we don't even like mess with this beer really. We just like keep brewing the same recipe because the first time we made it, we were just like, that's it.
That was it. That was sort of my question. Like, how do you determine what you change in a recipe? And I guess it's just on a whim. So your first version right out the gate, this is exactly what you hoped for.
Yeah.
Nice. How often does that happen, do you think, with your beer?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Pretty seldom, I would say.
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're basically like home brewers. I feel the same way. I have like an oatmeal stout that I've tried, 12 times. And it's like, I don't know. I can't, honestly, it still sort of blows me away that professional brewers change the recipes of a product that people purchase almost constantly, like every time. It's still
you tweak it. You're always tweaking it.
I know, but it still trips me out though. Like I don't know. I guess you
have to because you're trying to, because sometimes the ingredients differ and all this, and you're trying to, but the variance is so small. It's just like ding, 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 ding. It's not you're doing like a big like pendulum swing.
You're just barely
in direction. Yeah.
And it's also fun with our brewers. Like they might notice it if you like discuss it with them, which is actually pretty fun. But some people don't notice it.
But that's the great conversation in craft beer when you have like regulars come in and they notice the difference from one batch to the other, which actually is always funny because I remember like early on when like a regular would come in and like they say this IPA is completely different from last week's IPA, and it's like it's actually the same IPA. But so there's like, sometimes that happens. But the ones that are paying attention, especially with a lager, will notice the nuances from batch to batch. Shawn, I have to ask you a quick question. Why are you wearing an Oyster Company hat from Washington? Hama Hama.
I love Hama Hama.
Yeah, I love oysters. Actually, I saw that.
I went to Seattle and hung out with Matt actually, and me and my now wife drove out to Hama Hama. It was like one of the most beautiful drives ever, and I love West Coast oysters. They like Hog Island out there. I've been a couple times.
I feel like only Shawn would notice that.
Yeah, great.
Only Sully would notice. Only you would notice that. Look at this oyster hat. No. I'm the oyster man. I think Steve in the chat is adamant about this Krausen technique, and he wants me to ask you if you can go more in depth on it. What Plato is your active yeast, et cetera, et cetera? Like, can you give us a Krausen rundown? Or or not?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have a calculator, so you have to take into account the Platos of both beers. If Steve wants to give you his email, I'll send him a calculator. But basically, we usually krausen like between 24 and 72 hours after fermentation starts. You really want it to be pretty active. And it varies between like 10 and 20% of the beer that you're krausening with into the beer that you're trying to krausen. So you really have to take into account all the variables. Like you have to know what the volumes of CO2 of each beer is. You need to know how much gravity each beer is, like the extract that's left. So you basically have to, we use a calculator to plug this in and determine the volume that way, and we want to hit an exact CO2 volume in the finished beer as well.
Okay.
So,
do you have like an issue with your tanks only going up to 15 psi at all, or are you able to?
No. We usually krausen around I guess 9.5 to 10 Celsius, and then we slowly drop the temperature about 1 degree Celsius a day ish to lagering temps, which is around 2 to 3 Celsius. And then once we hit 2 to 3 Celsius, we basically hold that temperature for 4 to 6 weeks. So,
and we will still put a spunning valve on it. Yeah. So, I mean,
in case there is a miscalculation.
Yeah.
They call it a light adjustment.
That's right. AI can generate your labels, but sometimes it does fuck up.
And we always try to for 12 hectoliters, we'll add one 1.2 hectoliters of krausening, so that it also like fits in the tank. And like the Dunkel here, the dark beer, like we're not gonna krausen that with a light lager, so we brew like a 1.2 hectoliter batch that we then krausen with. So the same malt bill.
Okay.
So we have a Shawn's old homebrew system that we brew on to then krausen with.
Okay. Wow.
I remember seeing that.
That's cool, man. That's a cool way to do it. I like it. Yeah, this Dunkel is
JP, you would love
rich.
this place.
Oh my God, it sounds like I want to marry it.
Well, don't do that.
I want to divorce Taryn
First
and
go
marry
visit
this
the
brewery.
place and then marry it.
Nope. I'm gonna pretend like it's 1849, and I'm gonna answer an ad in the personals, and I'm gonna marry the first brewery.
Can you talk derogatorily about 1849 like that? I think you have to take that back.
Oh man, look, it's just facts. This Dunkel is so good. It's like it's. Is there pale chocolate in here, or is it there's some sort of like dark?
I mean the malt in there's most like the thing that gives its color is actually mostly caramel aroma, which gives you like kind of like these like beautiful like bread crust.
Yeah, man, it's like dark like wheat beer, like wheat bread, like darker wheat bread.
Yeah.
Things, but it's almost like bordering on the aroma that you get from like a pale chocolate. And so it's this really soft, like dark malt characteristic. Wow, this is very good. But
there's no pale chocolate in there.
Well, look,
you didn't.
Not every beer can be perfect.
That.
Okay, that's just what I'm going to say right now. This is a fantastic beer, and it's also like it's crisp and assertive, but it's not. I don't know how to describe it. This is where I would need like a Nicole Ernie to like explain to me what I'm tasting, because it's a very complex beer, but it's
white chocolate toffee with crisp edges and beautifully wonderful.
But not like chocolate like from like the West Coast, more like a toffee from the Midwest, specifically more like an Upper Michigan kind of toffee. That's a Nicole Ernie. That
reminds me of my grandmother's burnt bread pudding. Well, I've never had that before, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, Prue. Very good beer. So do you guys get a lot of people clamoring for? What am I trying to ask? I'm trying to ask. You don't really have a flagship, you would say, right? Because you alternate your beers normally. Do you get people coming in asking for like a specific beer often? And then the underside of that is, do you guys find yourselves attracting more lager drinkers or converting ale drinkers to lager drinkers?
We hope both, Dan.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure if we know the answer to that question.
You don't give them a survey at the end of the... I just realized how fucking stupid that question was.
Well, let me ask it another way. Do you get a lot of people coming in?
Yeah.
Like hazy IPAs are super popular now. Do you get a lot of people coming in asking for them, and when they don't really see them on your menu, I don't even know if you have them on your menu.
We do,
yeah. Okay,
we have them on our menu, and I mean, I think if they sell, but our lagers sell better. And we'll have people come in. Oh, do you have Active Low? And we'll say no, but we have these lagers. Then they'll just buy those, which is nice to see that. I think people trust us. They don't trust the beer, or like they trust us in like buying all the lagers that we make. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it totally does. It sounds like you have a clientele, or you have people that are curious enough to want to be able to, sort of go into an area with different types of beers that they normally don't have, or different versions of those beers, and you're not playing to the crowd, which is popular right now, which is what the hazy IPA thing is all about.
Yeah, I mean, we see it's pretty interesting. We see most, I guess we see most of our lager being consumed during the week. And then I guess it really depends on the weekend, but sometimes the weekend is maybe more pale ale or IPA forward. I think we're seeing other people that aren't from this area come in and try the IPAs or the pale ales, and then hopefully branch out into lagers. But we do get a lot of questions of like, when is this beer coming back, or when are you brewing this again? And like, this was like a year ago the last time we brewed it. So it's really cool that people remember these beers from a year ago, and we do brew them again, and they look forward to that. So it's really kind of neat.
Okay, got it. Well, I just cracked this Belgian quad, which is something I never thought I'd say in 2021. But after exhausting, man, you know how hard it is to open a bottle opener or open a bottle with like a watch band. Like I didn't have a bottle opener. I'm like rummaging through my desk, going, "Well, here's this old watch. Maybe that's going to work," and it didn't work, so I had to leave. But Belgian quad, is that a popular style in Atlanta? What is going on there?
Huge. It's huge.
Not really. I mean, we call it Castanide because we really wanted to like showcase that these are made with sugar. And so, like, if you look at the label, there's 4 packs of sugar on there for the quad. And on the side of the sugar packet, if you look really closely, it says for retired people.
For retired people?
Can you give me a couple cases of that, please?
For retired people, yeah.
You know, we were looking into like some old like ads on like Belgian sugar, and we found this really just endearing retired community website like forum where they were talking about sugar packets. They had like all this awesome branding of like sugar packets, and we were just like, that is so cool that these people are like into sugar packets.
You should do a beer with them because that's very funny.
But it's actually the sugar. It's the old ads of Tinse Suiker, and you can it's actually the same sugar that you can buy at BSG. So it's the Belgian candy code, the Belgian candy.
Yeah.
So,
that's very funny. Right away, man, when I poured this, it's huge banana ester kicked off, and this dark malt kind of behind it.
Yeah, it's like it's like banana bread, like dark banana bread, like crust, you know,
like banana bread and like dates almost, and like I'm not even going to say plum. I was going to say plum because I think I'm like conditioned to saying that with a beer like this. Yeah, but it's like it's not really. It wouldn't really be accurate. Anyway, tell me a little bit about this beer, about how old it is, how what's in it. Tell me what's in it, please.
I mean, this is all Dingemans malt.
Okay.
The best maltster in the world, according to everyone in Belgium.
Dingemans is that what you said?
Yeah. Haven't you heard that?
I know I have, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just going with it.
Like
I know it is.
I think they have a very high quality standards for their malt.
You've been to Dingemans, right?
Yeah, I visited.
I've used it too. It's good malt.
And I was impressed. It's family maltster. I'm not sure like all the malts we used in it, but the base is was it Dingemans pale?
Yeah, it was pale, and then there's a pretty large body of
pale chocolate
in there.
You and your pale chocolate. Yeah. Jesus. Who owns stock
and
pale chocolate?
Then, at the end of the boil, we add Belgian candy sugar, and then again, ferment rather lower temperatures, and then again after fermentation, like a maturation for like 3 weeks on like around like 10 Celsius, 10, 11 Celsius.
Okay. Like what, 50, 55?
To really like have it mellow out. And then we bottle and keg conditioned it just with a wine yeast. And it took quite a while. It was like we had a lot of nail polish in the beginning, right?
I think there's a lot more like banana ester than you're getting now, and it kind of reabsorbs some of that during the conditioning process, which is really cool to see. There's a variety of like malts in here too from Dingemans, like almost every single one they produce. And so it's a pretty complicated malt.
That should be in a quad though. Quad should have everything in it. I mean,
for
honestly.
sure, man. Yeah,
it's a fun beer. Like we it's one of the highest ABV beers we've ever produced. We usually don't produce anything over like 6% here. We have like
God bless you, dude. I swear to God.
Yeah, we have like most of our beers are between like around 4.8 and 5.2%, and like our IPAs are in between like 6.5, 6.8, and then we have our pales are always around like 5.2 ish. So yeah, it's
Sully, I'm moving.
It's one of the ones that are like, man, I'm not used to drinking this like.
Well, that's heavy. To be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why I chose it for tonight, because I would have a hard time just going, you know what I feel like doing is drinking a quad. That's definitely not me. Yeah. But also I wanted to talk about it because not many people still make quads. And I think that's really cool. So I want to talk about it. But also I want to clear off like half of the glass shelf behind you guys and just live there. Because you guys are sort of like my, like if I owned a brewery, this is what I would pay people to make. Is this kind of stuff?
Sleep in where the lager tanks are to the right of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Or
man.
Left of them.
I do like it cold in my hotel room, my 4-star hotel room. It's not 5-star. I don't want to let it get to my head.
Hey, on this, when you describe this beer here on the website, you call out the Atlanta water. What's the Atlanta water like?
The Atlanta water is like really soft. It's kind of a joke because there's like, I think there was a lot of studies that came out where like Atlanta water causes cancer or something. So we like to embrace, I'm just joking, but we like to embrace that like the Atlanta water had like a bad rap, but it's like actually really, really good soft water that you can really do anything with. There's we have really no issue with building any kind of water that we want. So
nice.
Very soft.
Mm-hmm.
This beer is good, man. Which again, I never thought I would say in 2021. This Belgian quad I opened is very good. That whole entire sentence would be written in AI. Speaking of AI, so on the side of the bottle,
very clever of you.
The control data says, "One time me and Cassandre were high on sugar out in the desert," he said, "and the stars attacked us." I mean, like, where do you run to when the whole Milky Way is after you? It was after your ass. Answer me that.
Serious like micro dosing going on there. I think
it's a Hunter Thompson fucking novel for sure, dude. I love it. I think that's great. This is a very, very drinkable Belgian quad. Again, not something you typically say, but it is very obviously malt forward, very specialty malt forward, sweet but dry at the end. I do get some of that malt sort of in my mid palate that's hanging around, but the sides and the front of my palate are dry, so it is sort of like easy to take another bit. It's not cloying, it's not sticky, it's not funky like that. That banana bread, like you said, this is well made. Cheers, man. This is very good.
Do you think retired people would like it?
I really do.
Yeah,
I really do.
That's really all we care about.
They're sugar packets.
Man, I'm telling you, contact that forum, make a beer for them. I think that would be fucking rad, dude.
I would like to do a collaboration with you.
Huh? What? I just imagine like Siri reading their email to you. What? Anyway, thanks for the beers, guys. This was very, very good. Oh, actually, I do have a comment. No, see, here's Steven again in the fucking chat room asking questions over and over again.
Steven needs to know. He's very curious. Let him ask the question.
I mean, it's Steve Torres. He's been a long time BN guy. Speaking of water, he says, I take it they use carbon filter water listening. So maybe he's an AI. I don't really know. Carbon filter water listening. How do they build their water profiles?
We definitely use carbon filters here. A mixture of catalytic. Is it catalytic carbon? I don't know. We have like we definitely filter chloramines and chlorines because the city can change those two on you actually knowing.
Okay.
But we for every single beer that we make, we think about how the water is going to come across, like how the mouthfeel is going to be, the texture of the beer, and we build our water to address that. I guess it's not like we don't like say, oh, we're gonna mull it after this city or that city. It's really just like about kind of flavor and mouthfeel and how certain aspects of the beer are going to come across.
Okay, so you're not geo-targeting a specific area. You're just going, this is a Czech style pils or this is a German style pils, and it should be this, and so it needs to be I don't know. I wish I was smarter with water, but like a little bit more harder, more calcium maybe to like showcase the hops.
Or minerality.
Yeah.
Okay. But they adjust their water too, right? So it's not like
this is
I
the
still
thing.
understood why people target cities, because like these people in the cities are changing their water. It's not
right, exactly. And someone brought it up years ago on one of the shows we did, and I forget where, and I forget I forget the advice from time to time until you just remembered it. But yeah, it's very much like you target like a London water for like a porter, like a British porter or whatever, but they treat their water now. Fuller, you're trying to do a Fuller's ESB. They're not just using tap water. They're not just opening the tap and going, there you go, that's it. This is what the thing is.
I mean, they would boil their water to like precipitate out like a lot of the hardness. Like they're not brewing it exactly how the municipality tested their water.
Yeah.
Plus, over time, it changed, and then the way that water was brought to you changed. And
for sure.
And then it was also adjusted at those, the way the municipalities adjusted the water before it got to you. So
the amount of urine in the water changes from time to time. It's just,
well, that just boils out though, and carbon filtration will catch that.
It's sanitary. It's fine. And then Brian in the chat says, walking into your brewery is like walking into a slice of Belgium, and he never wants to leave. Well, I thought that was really kind.
You guys should talk about your upstairs outdoor patio with the slatted roof. That's pretty amazing. And also that funny, what's that one little, like the bar there with it's like a little shack within a bar or something. I don't even know what that is.
A shack within a bar. To me. That's a restaurant.
What is that? That was a really poor way to describe it.
Like a 100-year-old 2-story building. And the second floor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
First floor.
Yeah.
I still don't know.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
That's funny.
But it's open air. So we added, with the summers being so hot here, we added like a slotted roof that we can open and close. And we added a bar there, and it basically it saved us through COVID, or like when we were open, and when we reopened last year in August, it was the only place we could open that we felt safe to serve people. So like even when it rains, we can have people seated there, and it's all outside. And you still have the original brick wall with the, one room was painted in blue, another was painted in pink, and a lot of the colors that you see in our cans or that we use in our merch and whatsoever are colors that we actually found in the building.
Yeah. This can's blue, this can's pink, or the other way around. And that's cool.
Those are from the building.
That's cool, man. I don't know. You guys got a vibe going on. I think that's really neat. You're definitely using the space.
I cannot recommend this place enough. I mean, honestly, it's magical. Everybody who you go to Atlanta, you got to check them out and buy the lager hat online.
Yeah, definitely. Do you guys don't ship beer nationwide, right?
No,
I mean,
we can't. It's illegal in Georgia. Yeah.
That sucks. All right. Well,
I don't know how you got your beer at all.
Yeah. No idea.
Well, no, because someone I know was in Georgia, and then they drove back.
Yeah.
So they picked it up, and you guys, your contactless thing was very nice. Everything was very cool. Everything's fine. But they dropped it off on my porch, and I have photos if anybody needs to know about it. Before we go, I do have a question from the chat. What kind of yeast do you use in your Belgian pale? The great Kim Wood coming in with that zinger. I love it.
Kim Wood with the zinger.
All right, you guys go to halfwaycrooks.beer. Check out their weird and funky ass website. I love it. I'm gonna order some merch. I swear to God, you guys' merch is pretty good.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Ryan likes it.
I love it. It's good. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. And Joran and Shawn, thank you very much from Halfway Crooks in Atlanta. Whenever you're in Atlanta, they're only 10 minutes from the airport, guys, and from all major attractions. And all major attractions.
Exactly.
I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man. If you guys ever are out here, we should try to get you in the studio after everything calms down and whatever. Yeah. This is a lot of fun. Beers are solid, and everything across the board has been straight A good stuff.
Thank you
very much. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Good seeing you, Shawn.
Cheers. Good seeing you guys. Thanks for coming on. See you soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy, and when